Welcome to HumanityWins.net. Please read the important disclaimer on your screen. All of the content provided is for entertainment purposes only. It should not be taken as medical or legal advice. Please contact your doctor or lawyer if you require such advice. Thank you. The show starts right now. Hello, welcome to episode 97 from August the 16th from the year 2022. Today is a Tuesday. Today is the second part of our chat with Tony. And we discuss death and near-death experiences. What is death, basically, and near-death experiences? And we have a disagreement. We don't agree on the same things. So basically, Tony subscribes to the idea that when we experience death, and I don't agree with that. I think it's just a word. Actually, death is just change. Okay, so Tony subscribes to the idea, which is it's very mainstream, so I cannot understand where he's coming from these testimonials from people that have experienced momentary death, the process of the soul, the spirit detaching from the body, and they start seeing a light on a tunnel, and they feel extremely comfortable, and there are religious figures on this light, and family members that have passed also, and they prepare this light to be of comfort to you. Okay, so Tony and I have a difference of opinion on this. It's totally normal. It's not a problem. I'm not saying I'm right and he's wrong, or he's right and I'm wrong. I'm saying we see different things. The thing I see with that is, unfortunately, what you're seeing on the screen is something that the system, yes, the evildoers, this non-human force that has a stronghold on humanity on planet Earth, they prepare because they thrive through the utilization of your energy. They harvest us. They use our benevolent energy to feed whatever they need to keep going, okay? In this strange, wrong way they're going, this going rogue, okay? Because they are not following the right way of an existence. They're going the wrong way. They had to create their own universe, the anti-universe. They had to create their own matter, the antimatter, black goo. And for them to thrive on this anti-reality, on this carbon copy reality, they have to confuse and deceive and trick benevolent beings, as you listening, as Tony, as me, as everyone listening, so they can utilize your energy through your own free will. So if you go through this tunnel through your own free will, there is nothing wrong. You're never going to be destroyed, okay? Your spirit, your soul is never going to be destroyed. But what I think it happens is you go through this tunnel and you're reinserted on this reality. So you're like, what? I was ready to leave it. And then I go through another process of going into a physical conception, a biological conception, which means a baby. And you're born again, and they clear. This is by design. This is the universe. You cannot remember consciously all your realities because you will go mad. Okay, imagine being a baby and thinking, "What? I was an adult a few minutes ago, or hours ago, or days ago. So why am I a baby again?" So they have to clear you, and this is an unconscious process, and they usually reinsert you through the same families, I think, for your own comfort, maybe. I don't know the reason for that, but usually you go through your own families, and this is the process that mainstream calls reincarnation, which I disagree, because reincarnation shouldn't exist. We are thriving through different realities, okay? So the natural process is you leave this reality and you elect to come back to planet Earth, maybe, and you elect to go somewhere else, okay, through your own free will. And that means going to the void, going to the darkness, which sounds awful, but basically it means going back to the universe. And then through your own free will, you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to join this other civilization. Okay, there are many. I mean, I'm not going to mention them because then maybe I'm going to be biased. For example, the Blue Avians, I don't know, the Arcturians, whatever. And you elect to join that reality, so you're going to have a different reality. So what I've been mentioning so far is enjoy your time on Earth, enjoy this reality, enjoy it with family and friends, because on other realities, you might be alone. In other realities, the concept of family might not exist. You might have friends, but not family. No father, no mother, no sister, no brothers, no cousins, no aunts, no uncles. So enjoy it, because this is a special part of planet Earth. Also, planet Earth is a garden planet, a paradise planet. It has seas, it has mountains. It's very eventful, There are other realities that are not like that. It's basically rocks, might not be anything you understand at this moment. Many things are kept from you, firewall from you. because you cannot handle them at this time. This is the truth of the universe, okay? Again, I don't know anything. I don't have the truth. These are just my feelings, okay? I clear my mind before every episode. So you decide if something resonates with you or if I'm full of lies, okay? So you decide. I don't claim to have the truth at all, okay? I just basically give you myself on every episode. This is the true Alex. There is no agenda behind me. There is no one controlling me. I'm just trying to give you what I feel and what I have found out through my experiences, okay? And by the process of discovering myself, that has freed me from all this reality you're experiencing right now. That's why I don't care about the vaccine. I don't care about the injection. I don't care about the war or the distractions, because they don't control me, okay? I have zero interest in that. I have zero interest in what I call the thrill of the senses, getting excited about these things, going negative. I have zero interest in that. My outlook is I elect through my own free will to try to be positive as much as I can, okay? So without further ado, let's just, I want to show you again, Tony's business is magic.charters. That's on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, please follow Tony. The website is magicchartersayulita.com. Don't worry about CopyNet. I'm going to include it on the show notes as well. And Tony has the charter business in Sayulita, Mexico, which is very close to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which you have heard of. So if you're flying into the Puerto Vallarta area, you might want to check out Tony. If you feel, you get the bonus if you book a charter with Tony, then he's going to be your captain on the boat, and you're going to have an excellent conversation with him. That's a very added bonus, because I've been to many charters and the captain very seldom even speaks or wants to have interaction with you. He's out there, just giving you the service of the charter. With Tony, he's very outspoken. He's really, very great guy, basically. And yes, we have a difference of opinion, like we had on this episode, like we had on yesterday's episode on Flat Earth. But as you can see, it's perfectly fine to have a difference of opinion. It's perfectly fine that there are people that disagree with you. You have to embrace the differences, okay? And be open that you are wrong about everything. And yes, I'm open. I'm wrong about everything, including the universe and that we go on forever. I'm open to it. I just feel very strong about it. I'm sorry about that. So I'm very comfortable with my own reality, with my own truth, because it resonates inside me, okay? I hope it resonates inside you as well. That means there's something there. I hope you find this at least interesting. That's perfectly fine. But the thing I don't like, stop watching if this upsets you. If this makes you uncomfortable, then please stop watching, because that's not the intent. All right, so let's watch part 2. We talk about death, near-death experiences, very interesting stuff. And afterwards, I'll give you my final comments. All right, let's watch it.
Could be.
But what I'm trying to say is, how about the system is so concerned that, like you say, you don't go and look up, or you don't discover what's after the firewall. So you concentrate that you are the only thing in the universe. Because, Tony, I don't feel that special. Come on, humans are really great, but and Earth is beautiful. But are we really the center of the universe? Are we really all there is? That doesn't make sense.
Wait a minute, but no. But see, to me, it's obvious. No, I mean, if you believe in any of, if you believe in any of
the universe, that's why.
Well, this is what I'm trying to say. If you believe in any of the scriptures, it can't be true, because God's surrounded by seraphim, Nephilim, things we have no idea what these things, other entities. Where do they live? Where do they? Obviously, this is a limit. I look at this as like a playroom. In this playroom, we're the only thing. You see, we keep wanting to know what's going on. We want to project what's outside the playroom. And no, we don't think we're the only thing in the universe. That's the whole point. That's why we don't concentrate on what are we here now. Why did God make us to be here now? No, we're just flying through space looking for other people that are more advanced or less advanced. We're looking for something else, but to identify what are we here now? What did God make us here? When I say center of the universe, what I mean is this universe, this playroom we're in. We're it. Okay. We humans are it.
This system,
we're here.
This system, the center of this
system.
Yes,
and our embodiment in it. Because I think like you were, we're an eternal, or we go on. We are is just embodied.
We have been going on before this birth many times.
And that is one of those questions for me, is so deep that I keep looking for the evidence of that, and it seems
there's
true.
No evidence. There's no evidence.
That's it. It seems true. It seems true. So I have to just go with it as an open book. You know what I mean? I can't put any pages in there. It seems like Maybe I've been before, but I believe I'll be after. So, yeah, does it mean I go from this playground to another playground?
Maybe.
Yeah, why
Yes.
not? Why not?
I agree with that. I agree with that. Why
Okay,
not?
so while I'm in this
Or-
playground embodied here,
Or
or
you are ready to go to another playground because you need to go to another playground, but they want you to return to this one. And I think that's the agenda of religion, actually.
I actually, for me, religion has got a much more clear agenda when you look at, see, because I'm still stuck in the fact that we're in this system, and the people of this system, they're the rulers of this system, physically humans I'm talking about, and that's all they want. They want to be on top of the hill. And everything in history has been keeping them on top of the hill. And when they're confronted with the idea of religion, that you're not on top of the hill, some unseen force is on top of the hill that I respect and believe in more than you. That's got to go. How are you going to remain in control if all of us believe in something bigger than you? So religion was co-opted. It wasn't invented, in my opinion, because it's too easy to see that they have no answer for real religion. The answer is to turn it into what they've turned it into. A bunch of hypocrites, a bunch of blind, mindless idea. Like I say, that Christians are going to heaven. Like, which star? Where are you going? What do you mean? Your own Savior said, heaven's within you. So our God who art in heaven, where is God? Out there.
Well,
But that's what they've turned it. That's what they've turned religion into. That's not what religion is.
what they imply is, the way I understand it, I'm a raised Catholic. Of course, I'm not that anymore. But the way I understood it is, you're going to heaven, you're going to be with God, and also with your family. Very important thing, because I keep telling you must enjoy family on this reality. You must enjoy friends on this reality, because the way I see your existence, and I call existence the summation of all your lives. This is a life experience, whatever you want to call it. Is you go alone. You live and you go maybe to this system again. And I agree with your idea of being different systems, okay? But you go to the system again, and I think actually there's a whole orchestrated, engineered thing for us to keep us again and again here, so we don't tap into our wisdom. Because again, if your wisdom is going to open to you through your experience, through your learning, and you're always on the same playground, what new tricks are you going to learn? You're going to be the same guy. You're going to be the same guy ever and ever.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree. But with regard the what you experience when you pass from the body back into the spirit. I mean, after my brother died, I did a lot of research on death, near death experience, and it's, to me, I find that one of the most fascinating subjects, and I find it also fascinating how religion can't seem to want to talk. Religion can't seem to grasp what all the real experience of people who have this death experience and return to their body report. And without fail, I mean, they see family members before they die. That's so common that you can almost expect it, that when you're going to die, especially if you're going to die a slow death in a hospital or where you're slowly passing, you're going to be visited by people that have passed that you love. And people are going to sit in the room and watch you talking to them and think you're friggin' crazy. And that's so common and been happening for thousands of years that, I'm sorry, religion can't take that away. Nobody can pretend that somebody invented that to fool us. It still happens today. People that die and come back, they go through a tunnel, they see a light, they see past family members. They have all sorts of experiences even before they die and sometimes after they return. And these I find to be one of the real fascinating subjects in the world, and especially in the world of religion, which has been just a world that's been taken away from those realities.
How about, I don't mean to get you started here to make you upset.
No,
but,
you can't really make me upset.
No, but how about, just let's suppose that everything you said was a trick of the system? If they can achieve that?
They could trick dead people into seeing things they didn't see?
Well, because they have groomed you all your life, and because I believe in the power of free will. It's an important energy in the universe. It's a rule. I believe there are several rules in the universe, by the way. The law of balance, the law of non-interference, and the law of free will, and the law of karma. And the law of free will is very simple. You get to do what you want until you don't interfere with anyone else.
So who made these laws?
Well, the Creator.
Well, I mean, so they're subject to be incorrect.
Yeah. No,
You think
no,
they're these laws, but we
I
can't
think
show them.
no, I cannot
Yeah.
prove nothing,
Yeah.
Tony. Nothing that I say. I
Okay.
cannot. I don't know
No,
anything.
so what?
But-
Let's.
but-
I would like. I'd love to move. I'd love to move on to a more interesting subject, like where things
No.
are going right now. But
I just wanted.
'cause I can tell when you say that you haven't done a lot of research on near death experiences because
No,
what?
on the contrary, Tony, it's a subject that is an interest to me. I just want to share with you what
Uh-huh.
what I've been told, what I feel, and because some of this information has come to me from different places, I cannot explain to you. I can, but off camera.
Well, no, but I'm saying with the grooming, that breaks down because these like out of body experiences.
Okay.
They happen to every kind. They happen to every kind of person, even people that are absolutely scientific atheists that don't believe in it at all.
Exactly, because it's something that happens when you become a soul, and the near-death experience, if I understand it correctly, you're like a mimosa, okay? You are half orange juice, half champagne, okay? So let's assume that champagne is the soul and the orange juice is the body. So you leave the body temporarily. The body starts decaying without the soul immediately. That's why it has to be something like seconds or minutes, because after that, there's no way of coming back. And you leave this, and before you go, you leave this system, as you call it, and you go to another system, to the universe, to outer space. They still control you. That's what I've been, what I believe now.
Who?
Okay,
Who?
the ones that are controlling us right now in this reality. They,
No way.
them.
They do it through illusion, through trick, through television. That's why
Exactly.
it took them so
So-
long to get a hold of people.
So
So what do you say about the near-death experiences before any of these tricks were invented?
It's a different no, because this has been going on for thousands of years. Okay, so what happens is if you think about it, all religions talk about how you must follow a light, how you're going to be in heaven with your family. All of these things are very similar. Even some religions like Muslims, I don't know. I mean, I've heard the stories that you do a sacrifice, you're going to be there in heaven with whoever and that. So it's always that. It's a prize, you know. You're going to be with your dead family members. You're going to be with God. You're going to go on forever. And the other part, they don't mention it sometimes, but they imply it is going to hell or going to purgatory, which is like a holding pattern for heaven. Okay, you have to learn some stuff, and then you're going to go to heaven. Okay, so the way I understand it, okay, I'm sorry, we're going to disagree on this one, is you leave, they're going to present the show of lights to you, they're going to present the religious figure, because think about it, they don't present Jesus Christ to everyone. They present, if you're a Muslim, they present the Prophet Muhammad. If you're a Jew, they present Jehovah or whatever. If you are other religions, if you don't believe in anything, they present your family members. If you believe in a sports figure,
my
they're going to
God.
present.
Okay, I can possibly get my mind around, and I really give them a lot of credit for being able to brainwash people, but to pretend that an atheist who's never believed in God dies 100 years ago before any of the modern that we know of as modern creating these lights. Where do they know? How do they know what lights to create for me? And I've read all the scripture I know of. No religions are telling you there's going to be lights. Where do you get this vision of lights? People that have died. This is what they see. So no, this isn't what they expect. It's what they've reported. And so to pretend that these imbeciles that run medical facilities, these low vibration people that train us to be hateful and divide us, because that's all they really do, can present us with a near-death experience when we're legally suddenly die. We just die. Some people die in a car wreck on the side of the road. And you're telling me the system is giving them the vision that they come and tell you, here's what happened to me while I was dead before they revived me? That doesn't make any sense.
I know, it's not supposed to make any sense. It's
Okay.
It's
Then how am I supposed to find any credibility in it?
no, again, because I cannot prove anything.
I
Just think about
want
it.
to move on. I really want to move on.
No, it's okay,
I wanted
it's okay.
to.
I just wanted to say a final thing about that. We talk
Yeah.
about this is very important. My idea on the dead, forget about it. I'll tell one day we'll have a talk about that. We'll have a few
Yeah.
lives. We spoke when we spoke face to face that most of the issues going right now with the world is the implanted fear of death. And I wanted to talk that briefly because it's related to what we just talked. That if people stop being afraid of dying, if they can, for some reason, and if they want to believe in whatever religion, that's perfectly fine. But at least don't being afraid of dying, because if you understand this is not your only experience, this is like a chapter in a book that has thousands of chapters. It's like going to bed every day, okay, and being afraid of not waking up the next day.
I understand.
How are you going to live your day? Imagine your day is your life. You're going to be afraid. So when you and I were talking that we don't have that fear of death, and that's because who we are. We're not special. Okay, it's just the moment we are. So I wanted to talk because something I want to share, and I'm sharing a lot. That first of all, you have to take fear completely out. But the fear of death is very important because it frees you and makes you enjoy life. Some people say, "Oh, you're not afraid of dying, that then you are not living. You don't want to live." No, the opposite. When you are not afraid of dying, then you're truly living. You're truly enjoying every day, every second. You're trying to spend it with family, with friends. You appreciate it in a way because you know it's going to end someday, and you have to accept it. So I just wanted to talk briefly about that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we both agree. I think that the core of any kind of good life here is not to be afraid of death, because that's what's pushed, and that's what will rob you of your joy in this life. And that's why, to me, I find it almost a dangerous position to imagine that near-death experiences aren't a real glimpse of what happens after we die, since everybody, both religious, non-religious, people who believe, people who don't believe, people who are smart, people who are stupid, it doesn't matter. They all share the same near-death experience. They all feel perfectly comfortable themselves. None of them feel this, oh, I didn't believe in Jesus, or I didn't believe in Muhammad. Nobody ever has that feeling, which to me is what the religions now need to be confronted with. How come none of these people are confronted with the fact that they feel just as good as the Christian or the Muslim or the Jew, but they don't believe in no God? They weren't expecting no light. They weren't expecting no peace. They were expecting to die on the side of the road, and that's that, like an animal. And instead, they come back and say, wow, and it changes their life. And there's been so many accounts that it's just impossible to slough off for me. And so it's been a very big piece of the puzzle in getting over the fear of death, in that I don't have to, like, for what you don't have a fear of death, but you can't really share that with me because it's all your own feeling. There's no evidence that what you're saying, that I'm going to go to the other side of space, since God is within anyway. Why would I need to go into space? What's the God that's within? How is heaven within if where I'm going is outer space? So I say, wait a minute. So I say that where we basically have just a difference of probably more terminology than anything, is your outer space is for me a dimensional experience, and that solves it right there.
If you give me 3 minutes, I'll explain it again. What you say, again, I cannot prove any of this to you. What you say about the near-death experience is correct. When your soul leaves the body, there is a light, and there is usually a religious figure of the religion if you're atheist, there's going to be something else, because they don't. First of all, they know everything about you, Tony. Okay, this cannot prove it to you, but they know who we are. They know everything.
Since when?
Since thousands of years. Okay.
Thousands of years ago, the guy in the castle on the hill knew all about every little farmer in his field and what he would see when he died.
It's not a human force, Tony. It's not a human force.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about an extra human.
It's something. It's a dimension or something. It's a force that's controlling evil. Okay, because we have to accept that the world is changing from evil to good. That's a feeling.
Yeah, but I don't believe in an extra
that's fine.
Force of evil.
So just let me explain the light thing. Okay, so there's the light. I'm totally agree with you. They put family members in there. They're not stupid, so they're not going to put living family members there. They put, if your parents haven't passed, they put uncles. They put if a brother or sister has passed, they're going to put him there. You're going to hear his or her voice exactly like it was. He's going to know things about you. Remember when I told you that you should come with me, come here this is heaven. They're going to insist in those things. So I'm going to ask you, let's assume you are right, I'm wrong, which I don't have a problem with.
I don't have to be right or you're wrong.
No.
I'm just saying I see no evidence in what you're saying,
that's
whereas near-death experiences are actual evidence.
Let's say, because if I understand to you, you're welcoming this light that we're supposed to go into. Remember, it's through your own free will. So if you go into this light, what I believe happens is you are electing to come back to Earth, okay? Which there's nothing wrong with. It's just you're going to keep being the same being in the same experience, and they're going to reinsert you usually they try to reinsert you within a close family to the one you are, or the same family. For example, your grandmother or great-grandmother could be you, and that's why there are expressions that you behave exactly. People that have known the past person and the living person, They say you behave exactly like your grandfather, you look exactly like your grandfather. Sometimes you are your grandfather. So you are electing to go into this light, which there's nothing wrong, Tony. You're never going to be destroyed.
But wait a minute. When you say they, do they have any authority? Is there a
No.
God?
Yes, and exactly, you got it now. It's your free
What-
will.
so
You are electing.
This they. Where's
just
the source of this they?
imagine you go. I'm gonna make it simpler. Imagine you go from city A to city B, and you have passed, no? So you leave city A, and there's a roadblock outside the city, and there's a light, and there's dead family members, and there's Jesus Christ, and so in the roadblock saying, "Hey Tony, come back here. This is the right way. Remember, this is heaven, okay?" But you say, "I'm going to city B." And there's the road to go to city B. And if you ignore them and say thank you, and you keep going, are you going to go to hell? Or are you going to go to the void? I mean,
I don't believe in that. I mean,
no.
there's no.
There's
It's
no
not that
wrong
I
way.
don't believe in hell. There is. It's an invented thing.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like what you're saying to me. It's an You're inventing this. You're inventing this trip that I can find no. You can't point to any evidence for it. There's no scriptural evidence. There's no physical evidence. You're just assuming that the people that have near-death experiences are given them by evil entities that are trying to fool them back into this life. But I don't see why that has to be instead the way that death is natural for people to then encounter the divine in the way that's best for them. If you think it's Jesus, maybe you'll learn, well, this isn't, Jesus is this, and here's these family members are really a figment of your imagination. And I mean, but why would that have to be presented by an evil thing? Where's the evidence for that? Anywhere, scripturally or anywhere else?
Because they harvest us, Tom. So
they harvest us?
Yes. So
who? The devils?
Let's go to another subject.
No, but I mean, no. It's interesting to me. But who do you imagine?
The evil force, Tony. The evil force that is controlling Earth, which I don't believe is a human beings. I mean, human beings work for them, as I said. Whatever you see as government and and Bill Gates and whatever.
And do they work for God, or they come from their own? They have their own planet. They're their own thing.
They are created by God, but they're lost souls. Okay, they're lost. They're not even evil. They're just lost. They don't know what they're doing, because we're not supposed to profit from others. We're not supposed to interfere with others. But still, they have to respect some laws. So through your own free will, everything that is going on with humanity, Tony, is through our own free will. So
in our body, that's what the body's for, to me. Like everything you're describing fits perfectly for my idea of what we're embodied to do is struggle against the evil forces, which are from God. They're not apart from God. They don't do anything God doesn't. They are God in that sense. Just like I might have a knife that I have to use sometimes to kill a rabid animal. So, but the knife is still my tool. The knife doesn't work on its own. It doesn't go kill things on its own without my directing it. So that's just the part I don't buy, is this evil force can only be evil in the sense that it's directed by God to be the opposite of God, to offer for our human consumption evil, so that we might choose good or evil, so that when we die, we might reflect on what we've chosen. That seems to be much more in line with the reality as I can conceive it. I can't conceive as an evil force that does whatever they want, and they can trick me after I'm dead into doing so. I mean, if that's reality, then it's all imaginative, and I'll have to deal it with when I get there. Exactly. I don't know how anyone like you would know it.
Exactly. No, yes, I agree.
And then how can anyone like me believe it? Even if I believed you, even if I thought, damn, that sounds really good. How do I believe that? How do I believe where do I find any evidence of this?
But you have gone through it, and I have gone through it, and we have been deceived so many times, Tom. And the question I ask you is, you die, so there's nothing to worry about. If the only way is going to the light, then going to the light. Again, you're not going to be destroyed. Okay.
No, there is nothing to worry about. No, that's not true. What's to worry about is how you're going to feel about your karma in each life if there's more than one. Because what I'm worried about is I have to live with every evil, bad, dirty, rotten decision and action I've ever taken in my body, which was my choice, my free will, to be embodied and to have an opportunity to either follow God, follow good, or be influenced by all of my desires, my ego, which I'll say comes from within me. I don't believe in evil forces outside of me. I believe in a dimensional experience in which all of the evil, the devil's in me, just like heaven's in me, and it's my choice. Do I want to go to heaven and know God in heaven, or do I want to continue to worship myself, worship my evil desires, worship my appetites? Because when I die and have to confront ultimate reality, I will never be able to get away from that. I call it my karmic color print. Everybody's going to leave their print on this life in the way of their karmic residual. What are you going to feel in that, when you're in front of that light? And what we know from near-death experience, you're going to go through a complete vision of your life in a detailed way you never imagined as a human. You're going to see not only how you felt, but how everyone felt around you, how your actions affected people positively or negatively, how that reverberated through the cosmos, what you really did. You're going to own it finally, forever.
No.
So to me, that's the picture of what this. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about in the sense that nobody's going to hell. God isn't going, you were a bad boy and you didn't know Jesus or you didn't know Muhammad, and now you go to that fiery lake. That's bullshit. But it is going to be this embrace by the divine, in which everything you did in your body will be absolutely laid bare to you and everyone.
And what if all what you just said, you just keep going? I mean,
well, this is maybe you go. I mean, I can imagine you'd say, well, I want to do that again. Shit, I can do better, right? I want to put me in another body. I want to go back.
Oh, so
I want to do it again.
In a way, we believe the same thing opposite.
Yes, I know.
So if we go into the light, you're going to clear your karma, you're going to own it, and you're going somewhere else. If you don't go into the light, you come back to Earth. We believe.
Well, I don't think there is. For me, there is nowhere but Earth. There is no other place that I'm aware of that would make any sense. So if that's the case, like you say, I'll know it when I get there. And they say, oh, now you're going to City B, where people walk, don't have heads and arms. They just have eyes and feet. And they
it's
don't
a
walk
different
on
reality. That's why you
that's
must
what
enjoy
I mean.
this
So
one.
why would I concern myself now?
No one is telling,
reality, or even know it exists.
No one is telling to be concerned. Quite the contrary, Tony. Just
but why wouldn't I concern myself with this reality now, and how I am treat good and evil in my body, thinking about there will be that reconciliation somehow when I face the light. I will face myself and everything I've done. People think, so what? But I say, ooh, that must not be the case. When you're a murderer and a rapist and a child molester and someone who hurts people and cheats people, I imagine you're going to really feel that deeper than you could ever feel it in human body. And you're not going to go to hell. That's the part. You're going to hate yourself.
Tony,
you're going to wish there was a hell to burn that away from you.
You were breaking there for a little while. Tony, I cannot explain it to you, and whoever is watching is going to say this is a crazy guy. But I've seen it. I've done some of those things, okay, on other lives. So yeah, just take it the way you want. Just laugh, okay, man.
I know I do, and I'm not trying to convince you. I'm only presenting my perspective for the audience.
They're going to enjoy it because this is as pristine. I think this kind of chats are what I appreciate from Pat and Joel. That there's no filter, we're nothing prepared. We didn't even chat it or discuss the subjects. Everything is organic, and we're having this discussion. And just what I'm trying to say is I present to you another possibility. Okay, certainly I appreciate what you believe, and I say there's nothing wrong with the notion of going into the light, following your family members. But I also feel there's nothing wrong trying the other way. And that's what I've decided I'm going to do. Maybe when I leave this reality, this life, if it's tomorrow, in 10 years, in 20 years, whatever, I'm going to forget about it and I'm going to go into the light. As I know I've gone into the light many times, okay? Many times. And the process, I believe it happens, is what is called purgatory. Or religions called purgatory. It's a holding pattern to be reinserted back on this system, okay? As far as karma, I have a little bit difference of opinion. The way I see it is learning, okay? I know you remember, it's in scripture that I know Jesus Christ, and again, he was the same, there's a different name, as you mentioned, that he related a lot with criminals, with robbers, with whoever. Because in this life, in that life they were experiencing, they were bad, and yes, whatever they did is awful, okay? But if you think about it, like it's a chapter in a book, and you read a good book, and then it has a bad chapter, are you gonna throw the book away? Imagine it has 100 chapters, and you have gone through 80, and chapter 81 is really bad, awful. No, you're going to keep going. Okay, it was a bad chapter. The book is going to have a chance to redeem itself in chapter 82, 83, 84, 85. I think that's karma. Okay, karma is
Yeah,
not.
I don't disagree with that at all.
I think that's
I like you said, I think we actually agree very much on the trip that we're on. It's just how can any of us know the details really?
No, we don't.
And-
we
and
don't.
so-
we don't. We don't.
Well, for me, I'm attached simply to details that I've been able to discover rather than the ones that I imagine. Because I could go with you on exactly what you're saying, but I know that I would be just strictly in my imagination. I've got no foundation to believe that when I see that light, that there's going to be a road over here that I could choose instead. If I get there and it's like that, I'll say, "Oh shit, Alex was right. Wait a minute,
yeah,
there's
I
a road
hope,
over
man,
here."
I hope.
Right? Then I will. Then I will know
Remember
that you were right. But
It's-
until then, it's an open book to me.
Apparently, the way it has been explained to me, and I've seen it, is the opposite. Okay, the road is the one that is open, and it's just dark. What it has a light is the roadblock, the exit. Just think if it's a highway, there's exit 1, heaven, or go on. And by the
But
way,
this, I have to keep stopping you with this exit to heaven because heaven's within you. There's no. Heaven's not a place you travel to in space. I mean,
that's
I don't see
that's
how
what
that.
I'm saying.
how that's possible.
I'm saying they play with your heart because your mind is gone by then. Okay, so they're playing with your heart, presenting family members, which the love is still there. It hasn't disappeared. That's why they present family members. If you are very religious, they're going to present religious figures,
Yeah.
whoever. And it's exit 1, heaven, like saying, you made it. Don't go into the highway because that's what we told you. And I've been to the last 2 years to several wakes, Catholic wakes. And right now, I think there's an agenda by the Catholic religion, sorry about that they're telling this story exactly. It's a wake of a person that has passed. And they're saying this person has gone to heaven, to exit 1, heaven, okay? Because I spoke to her about the importance to go into the light, okay? To go, she saw Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ hugged her. He explains everything, hugged her, and her family members were ready to take her to heaven and be in heaven forever, okay? Don't believe this new age. Again, new age is like flat earth. Whatever they don't want, they call it new age, okay?
Yeah.
Don't believe these new age stories that you have to go to the void. It's called going to the void, which is going to the universe. You keep going. Through your own free will, you go into the emptiness, okay? It sounds like awful. It sounds really awful, really lonely. But then suddenly you discover that's your call and you go somewhere else, okay?
Yeah.
So remember, if you feel like it, because Tony, this is your free will. If you go into the light, it's your free will. If you go into the void, your emptiness is your free will. That's why everything that's going on with humanity, and I said it again, that it's not a place to judge people that have gotten the injection, that believe whatever, because it's through their own free will. They really, yes, they have made it very difficult for us, but in a way, if you think about it, everything has been about, convincing you. That's the important part.
Well, this is why I don't buy that for after I die. In this life, you're exactly right. That's why I'm embodied. I have free will. When I die, it won't be that my mind is gone. I'll be pure consciousness. And from what everyone that's been there, you don't encounter a choice. You encounter reality, and you're thrilled with it. You don't. Oh, geez, what does my free will want to do now that I'm dead? Once you leave your body behind, you're pure consciousness, which encounters ultimate reality, which is perhaps in ultimate reality there are paths that you're offered, but I don't see this object at the moment of my life now to think, oh, when I get to the light, I'm going to choose to go to the void. My consciousness is going to be aware of ultimate reality, of love, and of whatever's there for me, and I'm going to know I don't even see I don't really see a choice at that point. I see that there's only one way to go. There's only one encounter to have. And after that encounter, whatever is next in my consciousness on that dimensional level that I'm at, that will present itself. Not necessarily as, do you want to go to heaven? I say that's a religious lie. This whole idea that there's an offer of you've made it, no, heaven's within you. You make it when you freely choose to love. That's all. If you don't want to choose to love, maybe there's a void you can float around in endless self-pity, self-aggrandizement. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Maybe that's purgatory that the Catholics, even though there's nothing in Scripture about anything like that. Paul says, when you die, we all go to Hades to wait judgment. So what is Hades? What does that mean? Where do you go? Down under the earth? No. Where do you go? Somewhere your consciousness, some place that's appropriate for your consciousness. If you're an evil person, maybe that place isn't the same as a person who's, I don't know that. I just don't believe it's a punishment by God. I don't believe it's a ticket to heaven or to earth. Or I believe it's you live this life to then die and confront what it was all about. And you learn it and you know it. And that's what people who have died seem to encounter. And so unless I see some evidence that shows those people are all crazy, or that there really is some evil force that's actually able to present them with a near-death experience, I don't understand what's the difference. If that is the near-death experience, you see a light, you encounter family members, maybe you see Jesus, maybe you see a figure, but you are then confronting ultimate reality, and from what everyone that's been there says, you understand your life in a different way. And so that seems to be what you need before you could make a decision anyway on what city you're going to go to next. What was this life all about? What did I do? What am I? What is this? And so for me, this is what death answers. And because it answers it, they don't want people to know that, because that would make you unafraid. Like all of the people that have ever had a near-death experience report being not afraid to die anymore. So this is what they steal from us, the fact that when you die, it's over. That whatever pain in this life, whatever suffering in this life, you confront it now and you reconcile it with God, or whatever God energy or some good energy. And so if there is another place to go that is my choice, how would I know that now? And how would I, and if I knew it was, how would I decide that now? How do you know for sure that if you meet your mother and you feel this love, that you want to say no to that? You already know that for sure. You're going to say no and say, hey, where's that dark void? I'm going to city B. I don't know, you're just tricking me with my mother. Even though it feels right, I want to leave. Nobody that's ever had a near-death experience is recorded has felt that way, but you say you're going to feel that way. And that's the way people should feel, to avoid being tricked by evil entities to go back to Earth. So anyway, I find this a little bit of a good confrontation.
No, it's fine. It's great entertainment for anyone watching, I guess.
I hope so. I mean, I would have loved to hear this shit years ago when I was searching.
Yes. No, let me just clarify, Tony. I'm not saying anyone, including you, especially you, with all the respect I have for you, to do anything. I don't know anything at all. I'm just trying to share this. It's like breadcrumbs, okay? It's things I feel very strong about, and I'm not. If you see, I'm not engaging in an argument or anything like that. I totally respect you feel that way, and it's gonna be when you reach that point, you are gonna make the best decision. If what I was saying, there's something to it, or if you see there's your mother, your brother, whoever is there, you decide.
I agree. You've opened me up to an option. If I get there and I see a dark road over here, I'm going to say, wait a minute. I'm going to have to. Hey, but let me ask you guys a couple of questions. Are you really my brother?
And just to clarify, I don't think that exempts you from facing your karma. Okay, karma is a serious thing. Karma is I think karma is what gets you to be the best version of you. Okay. We have to go through learning. We have to go through learning to understand, for example, how we should be.
No, we agree on all that. Yeah.
How should we behave? Some people say if there were no governments, I think there was some discussion there in Wake in the Future in the last episode or something about, I forgot now the word, anarchy. Anarchy, thank you. About anarchy, that if there is all anarchy, it's going to be basically like what is called
utopia.
A Mad Max world, every person for himself. The stronger ones are going to be the ones that have guns, and that are going to be the leaders again. No, I mean, to have a world without governments, without hierarchies, without leaders, we all have to change. I mean, we all are just on a process, okay? We haven't got there, okay? We have to change to completely understand how we should behave towards ourselves, to start with, family and friends, and the rest of humanity. That we just have to be good, okay? Just be good people, be good to everyone, be good to yourself to start with. It's very important you start with yourself, you love yourself. We have to understand that. When everyone understands that, I can assure you all governments can crumble and we're not going to kill each other, okay? But as reality right now, without governments, I totally agree, it will be a Mad Max world, okay? and I
Well,
wouldn't
because
last very long.
well, it's simply because all we're really talking about with anarchy. I mean, I've read about it. I've even written about it. It's nothing more than the substitution of the idea of heaven, which isn't this out to me, is not a Club Med in the sky. The Christians think they're going to the Club Med in the sky to live in their mansion. It's when you learn to love your neighbor as yourself, then the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And so to live in that kingdom is a utopia dream to the people with no God. If there is no God that is the substance of that feeling, that there's a reason to live for love your neighbor. If there's no higher law that love your neighbor is the law everyone obeys naturally, well then of course, how can you have anything but a Mad Max world? If anarchy simply means lack of authority, well then the authority comes from yourself. And if heaven is in you and you're living that way, well then then you're in heaven and no one's fighting and the authority is God. See, but if there is no God, oh, well then how do I create this utopia heaven? How do I create a heaven without God that I call utopia, where we're all free to do anything we want, but none of us want to hurt each other? Well, then doesn't that mean all of us in this utopia all agree to a higher law, even though we don't call it an authority? Doesn't it have to be an authority over our own hearts before any of this anarchy can be anything but a Mad Max world? So all it is a substitute for the idea that until you accept God's law, but they don't want to call it God's law. Okay, so we call it man's law. We don't hurt each other. We don't purposely injure anyone else. Oh, and then how do you enforce that? Well, every man has to believe it. It's the only way.
It's the only way. It's the only
So
way.
just like heaven, heaven's within you. You don't just enforce. That's why people aren't going to heaven where God and Jesus sit on their throne and rule. No, it's not a rulership that way. The rulership is love. The rulership is that love has entered the heart of a human being, and they love their neighbor. And if they love their neighbor, what other authority do they need? See, so that's the reason anarchy is just a utopian dream for a physical society where man hasn't agreed that they need to love each other as the higher law. So if anyone thinks that's possible in this earth, I say, well, okay, it's just to ignore history. It's to just put our head in the sand and pretend, oh yeah, we could do that if we just get rid of the U.S. government. And all of a sudden we'd all start loving each other. You know what I mean? So that's why anarchy to me, it's another tool they use to distract and divide us, because the people that use it know damn well there's no such thing. They thought of it thousands of years ago when the Greeks and Chinese questioned, what is a proper authority? Why does man need an authority over him instead of he's his own authority? And the answer is because until that authority becomes universal, their idea of authority becomes a universal idea that we will not hurt each other, well, then some authority's got to stop them from hurting each other. There's got to be an enforcement. So Christians think God's the enforcer, but no, God's opened the door to love your neighbor. Heaven's within you.
Yes. That's what I think, Tony.
I know. You and I agree very much on the deeper ideas.
Yes, that's what I think. It's love is the way. It sounds very naive, very new age. No. Very hippie. No. Love is the true way. There's no way we can go through enforcement of any kind. So changing these governments with new governments, eventually they're gonna be like this tyrannies. Okay. Because it's not the U.S. government, Tony. It's all governments. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, some governments are puppets of bigger governments. So they say
they're all puppets of. See, to me, this evil force, like you talk about, even though to me they're humans, this is what's going on in the world. There's a force of people that have their way, and all that matters to them is keeping the control, keeping them on top of the hill, and they'll tell us any stories that they need to. Kill anybody they need to, whatever they need to do, and that's why the bigger thing. Maybe we should talk about it in another episode. We've gone a long time.
Actually, this episode is going to be 2 or 3 episodes because we have gone looking at the clock right now, 1 hour and 53 minutes. So I was basically waiting. We close with something to make.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
And make 3 episodes of 40 minutes because the attention span, more than 40 minutes, 45 people get lost.
I agree.
I wanted to share with you with what you were saying that you believe they're human. I agree. Again, Tony, I totally respect all different feelings. Okay, I have no problem at all. I could certainly be wrong about everything, including the stuff about the light. I'm going more with feeling these days, more than trying to rationalize it in my brain, because most of these things we have talked today, if you go to your brain, it's very difficult you come to a conclusion, certainty. There's very difficult you reach certainty, okay? But you remember Tina from the comments, right? Okay. She mentioned a week ago or something like that she was very adamant about who are they? I know you remember that. Like a week ago, who are they? And I mentioned it's a force, whatever. Okay, that didn't fly very well. But she made an excellent comment that if these were humans, and if this has lasted for 1,000 years, 2,000 years, if you think about it, if it was a society, a secret society or something like that, wouldn't they have destroyed by now? Wouldn't they have broken up in 3-4 societies? It seems to me it's a little bit more inhuman force, okay? A force without feelings, a force that is very confused. Because I'm a firm believer, Tony, there are no demons, there are no fallen angels, nothing like that. We are all products of God, okay? And we're all born equal. But through our own free will, we can decide to go through the way of love, which is the right way, or through the way of hate and fear and all the other emotions, which is the wrong way. So I think this force, and there is a lot of stuff, I'm not going to share it in this episode because we're going to be here for another hour and it's not the point, that this force has gone rogue, okay? Has elected through their own free will to go rogue, but they don't know, they don't understand what they're doing anymore, okay? They just have to keep going the wrong way because it's like you driving the wrong way and you don't even know what the hell you're doing, and cars are driving your way and you just keep honking the horn saying, I don't know where I'm going. So this inhuman force is just basically doesn't have any feelings, doesn't understand what it's doing. But when we are able to break that spell that they have put on us, that's the moment we're going to start again, okay? And the world is not going to be like 2019 or 2022, I'm sorry. All of these things, money, hierarchies, governments, leaders, saviors, religions, all of that stuff is going to go eventually, gradually. And there's going to be a world that's going to be similar to Sayulita, or it's going to be similar to a small city, small town in the US, 500 inhabitants. Do they even need a police? No. The sheriff is there for show. Unless an outer force, a robber, a criminal comes passing through town, and then there's crime, maybe. Mm-hmm. But they just love each other, they help each other, they assist each other. That's how I see the future of humanity. I'm probably very naive, but apparently a few people believe like what I think, and that's what I believe. I'm not going to change.
Well, I mean, you're basically describing what religion describes as, when God returns, he will be that authority that allows people to live that way, because I speak of it anthropomorphically, this force that is God. That's why for me it's dimensional, and I can explain for me I can justify the idea that they're human, and they've done it for thousands of years because, excuse me, the evil that's in their heart, that is in a sense inhuman because it comes from God. It's the opposite of God. It's everything God is not. It comes dimensionally into our consciousness to tempt. That's what temptation is. That these people have always had the same feeling. There is no God, just us. We are the power. The people believe in these delusions. They're very dangerous and they must be controlled. And everyone down through time passing that baton on. It's the reason it never break rank, because who wants to give that up? You're on top of the hill. You know the secret that you are God. You keep them believing in gods so that you can control them. And it's a very simple pattern down through history. Meanwhile, what is the inhuman thing that makes you do that? What is in those hearts that continues to be the same? How come no generation of them ever decided to do something different and say, hey, let's make it a beautiful world instead? Not one ever wanted to make it a beautiful world. Why? Because, for me, what religion demonstrates is the thing that's in man's heart is what's evil. Now, for me, that can be an inhuman entity almost, in the way that God can be an inhuman entity in another dimension. Whatever dimension God and his angels of good, light, love, vibrations are on, that dimension also has the opposite of all the entities or forces or thoughts of evil and do for yourself and take, and it's all mine. And that's always been the same. That's why that force never changes. That's why it doesn't matter which generation has the reins. Their mind is always bent on exactly the same thing, and then they're employing the same tools and processes that they've learned. And so, yes, it continues. The only thing that changes is the technology they have available to them to continue the process. And this would seem to be the important information that's handed down that I've learned. Secret Society, they don't hand down how to raise devils, how to levitate. They don't. That's not what they hand down. They hand down the secret of keeping control in your hands, even though you're a tiny, tiny, minute fraction of the population. And yet you call the shots and they dance. And that's the secrets they hand down. And it's the evil forces, if you will, that enable them to continue that and to believe in that and to do whatever they need to do to people, torture them, kill them. So that's more how I see it, rather than some impersonal force that's, what are they, twisting people's arms? No, it's in people's heads. It's in their hearts. So heaven's within you, the devil's within you. There is no hell. So this is sort of my conclusion. Anyway, let's wrap it up. I got to go too.
That's great. So everyone, thanks for listening. I'm going to make these 3 episodes because we went on for 2 hours. So I'm going to make it 3 40-minute episodes. And Tony, please, I need to, now that you're still here recording, please don't make this the last time you're here, because there are many things we can talk about.
I really didn't expect to talk about this. I'm looking forward to so many other subjects. Okay. So let's do it.
Thank
let's
you.
do
so
it
please,
again
please don't make it the last one. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna hit record. Please don't go, because I want to tell you a few things off camera. So I'm gonna stop recording right now. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that chat with Tony. It was excellent in my opinion. A little bit over 2 hours of full recording. And you know what? I hope it's not the last time we have Tony in the show. I know he wants to join again, and I'm open to it. And I want to share this. I know all episodes include at the end a very short, promotional that if you want to be in the show, you're invited. Yes, I want to hear from you. If you feel you have something to say, as long as the message is positive, yes, you can be on the show. This is a very important thing. Okay? And you know what? I hope something to you happens like it happened to me, that I appear with Pat and Joel from Work in the Future, which I include the link to their channel and their shop, awaken-attire.com, on every episode and at the end of every episode. And I hope something similar happens, because, I appeared, as a guest on their show a couple of times, and then I couldn't stop. And of course, the intention was not to appear frequently with them, because they have to bring so many guests and they have their own show. So you go and do your own thing. So this is the inspiring that is happening with this community consciousness that is happening. All the people that are coming to your life, like Tony, like Pat, like Joel, for me, and many others. Okay, many others. It's happening to me. It's 10, 15, 20 people that have come to my life in the last few months. They're extremely interesting, extremely, I feel extremely comfortable about this. Humanity is coming together. Okay, humanity is coming together, and I hope you feel the same way. So if I can assist in any way I can, shoot me an email to hey@humanitywins.net, and let's talk about it. I have had unrecorded chats with a handful of people now in the last few months, and I'm going to give you all that I can offer, okay? This is going to be the true Alex. I'm just going to give you myself, no agendas, no control, no anything. I really don't respond to any master, not even to God, because, God is so beautiful that he created a copy of himself. So he's not expecting you to say, God tells you, okay, you should do this thing. No, you have your own free will. He gave you a guideline, a set of rules, the rules of the universe, okay? The law of balance, the law of non-interference, the law of free will, and the law of karma. Those are the 4 ones I understand. There are possibly many more, okay? But he gave you these guidelines, these rules and regulations, and he expects you to follow them. That's the only thing he asks of you. He's not going to give you any, okay, follow this, follow that. No, he doesn't intervene, okay? God is so beautiful that he created his masterpiece, and he's allowing his masterpiece to fulfill his design, that the world, the universe, sorry about that, not the world, the universe is full of love. And so it's going to be a place of only benevolent, beautiful love feelings, okay? That's what God is expecting. But it's going to take a little bit of time. There are some defects out there, some confused beings that are interfering a little bit, but you shouldn't mind them. You should never be concerned about that, and you should never judge them or act violence on them, because that's not the way to go, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode with Tony, and I shall be back. I think I'm going to be back on Friday, okay? Because I wanted to put this part 1 and part 2 together on Monday and Tuesday, but I think I'm going to be back on Friday, and I'm really looking at a lot of personal work that I have to do. So I might go from 3 episodes a week to 2 episodes a week. So I hope it's not a problem. Please keep enjoying the channel. Please send me all your comments and suggestions to hey@humanitywins.net. And have a great Tuesday. Enjoy it. If you want to enjoy it alone, that's perfectly fine. My personal suggestion, please enjoy it with family and friends. All right? Have a great Tuesday, and I shall see you back on Friday. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover yourself. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and guidance. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover yourself? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to yourself and the universe. Request to be connected and ask, who am I? Where do I come from? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about those realities start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering yourself equals to breaking your matrix. Your self-imposed limits will fall, and you will be ready to serve humanity and help break this spell and deception on us. But you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will start a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, loss, envy, violence, justice, true violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only the evildoers and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Please relax and enjoy life. When everyone breaks their own matrix, humanity through our community consciousness will break the final spell. The new world will start and everything will gradually fall. Governments, hierarchies, and the medical and financial system will go from scarcity to abundance for all. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this episode. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@humanitywins.net. Please be sure to check out our friends from Waking the Future and their awaken-attire.com shop. They gave me my first opportunity to speak about this and I will be forever grateful. Link to their channel and shop on the show notes. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.humanitywins.net. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.